Trae. Come on, it's the day with Trae. With Trae. Come on, it's the day with Trae. With Trae. Come on, it's the day with Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with Trae.
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I want to welcome you to a thorough Thursday. We're going to be getting into it because my guest today is Mary Anderson, a judicial candidate. She's here to tell us all of the reasons why she's throwing her name right there in the ring to be one of her judges, y'all. And of course, I got to dive into her background and understand why she's doing this and what she's looking to use her judgment. What is it, a judgeship? How she would use her bench and what she's looking to bring and why she's doing this whole thing. So I'm excited that she's here, but y'all know it is the top of the show. So it's a great time right now for you to participate with us. You help us grow by tagging and sharing this stream with folks who you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness right here on the Day with Trae. And you know, if you can't watch us, don't worry. You may be missing out on some fabulous outfits, not only from me, my guests, but we still got you covered because you can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. You'll find us on whichever platform is your favorite. Before I get into it with Mary after the break, I'm really excited because y'all, we get to celebrate up in here. Today is Susan Freed's birthday. Woo! Y'all can clap. Give it up for Susan. You know what? Susan is one of the phenomenal photographers in our community who has been doing this for years, y'all. I've seen Susan at practically every community event, and I'm so grateful that she finds time in her busy schedule to be here with me some Sundays on the Day with Trae, you know, really shedding light on all the work we're doing through her amazing photography as we record this show. Every time that I have Susan in the studio, Susan is such a light. And for many of you that know her and experience her out there in the community, you know her dedication to community is real. There's something so special about the work of some of our photographers, specifically anyone who's doing media style work, for me, because they're capturing the sign of the times. And throughout the decades, Susan has been capturing so many amazing things, y'all. And so I'm telling you, one day we're going to have Susan's entire collection on display because she has thousands and thousands of photos, just picturing all of the precious moments that have happened at so many different community events. So I actually encourage you to give some love to those who may be out there in community doing similar work as Susan. It is so special because this is what we need for folks to see it 50 years from now, 100 years from now, for them to be looking at these photos that Susan Freed took, y'all, because she was there on the scene. You know, every day that I'm in the Black Media Matter studios, it reminds me that this wall behind me is another, you know, fuel to this whole show, everything we do in the studio, because we are reminded by just having this amazing photo montage, this collection from there he is right there, Al Smith, y'all. Oh, you can't see him, but I can, right? At the end of the day, he was dedicated in that same way. When we look at all of these amazing photos, they are just pieces of time that are now frozen for us to be able to learn from, to lean into. And so huge shout out to Susan Freed, y'all, for her birthday and her dedication. I just had to dedicate the first top of the show to Susan. Happy birthday, Susan. I'm looking at you, but I'm gonna look at her too. Happy birthday, Susan. You are appreciated. You are loved, my friend. We are so grateful that you are here with us on The Day with Trae and Converge Media. Of course, Susan. We love you. Oh, y'all. Okay. Up next, y'all, I had to give Susan her flowers, okay? Up next, we got Mary Anderson in the building after this short break. We're going to be talking all about her judicial candidacy, y'all, right after this. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Spring Awakening, live on stage this June at the Fifth Avenue Theater. Winner of 8 Tony Awards, Spring Awakening weaves youth, love, and the clash between generations all in one powerful rock musical. Buy tickets now at fifthavenue.org.
Ballet's greatest comedy, Coppelia, returns to Pacific Northwest Ballet. Perfect for all ages, Coppelia delights with dazzling dancing and magnificent music played by the PNB Orchestra. Seven performances only. Visit pnb.org for tickets.
Africatown Plaza is our latest affordable housing development project. It's 126 units of affordable housing over community commercial space.
It's the first time in my career, and I've been doing this for 10 years, that I was able to design for people who look like me.
Africatown Plaza is a beacon of hope.
Africatown Plaza is a love letter to the community.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I am excited because I get to talk and learn just alongside all of you with our Mary Anderson, a phenomenal person who's going to be telling us all about her candidacy. What's up, Mary?
What's up? Thank you so much for having me, Trae. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Well, it's something that's kind of, I need to learn. I'm going to learn as you explain. Tell us a little bit about your background before we get into your candidacy and your run. Tell us about your background.
Okay. So I was born in San Diego, California, but my parents brought us up to Washington State. So I have lived in the Snohomish County area for the past 40 years. And I am married to my husband of 30 years, yes. And he and I raised a beautiful young lady that served in the United States Navy. And believe it or not, law is my third career. Wow. Yes. So I owned and operated a construction firm, and I owned and operated a mortgage brokerage firm, and now I currently own a law firm. Wow. Yes. And I'm self-taught in all aspects of business, entrepreneurship, mortgages, finances, law. So when I decided to go back to law school, it's because that big crash that happened in 2008. Mm-hmm. So I went back to law school, and right out of law school, I opened up my own firm, Guidance to Justice Law Firm. And there, I'm a trial attorney, and I have argued before our state Supreme Court not once but twice. Additionally, I have federal practice experience, transactional experience, and so much more. And so I have done a lot in my short years here on this earth.
I mean, you know, there's something to be said about probably each one of those jumps for you, right? Like there was some type of impetus to be like, okay, I'm done in construction. I'm going to move onto this side. Because maybe, were you in residential construction?
Yes,
Okay.
residential and commercial, both.
So you were seeing like the beginnings of it, and then you have these buildings that are completed. You have these homes that are completed. So then you move into mortgage brokerage. Like this is those two can kind of be tied, but then law feels like a huge jump. What was it that got you to say, I need to go to law school and learn this industry?
Yes. So truly, I knew at a very young age that I wanted to practice law. I wanted to be an attorney. I wanted to make sure that I understood my rights. Because when I was younger, these individuals came into our home, broke into our home, assaulted my mom, and we didn't know what we didn't know. And I thought at that moment, at the young age of 10, this will never happen to another family again. It certainly is not going to happen to my family because I want to ensure that I get educated so I can actually help other people know their rights, understand their rights, and then invoke their rights. And so I got into law to ensure that I was able to help folks. That's why I actually, 2 years out of law school, I petitioned directly to the state Supreme Court on a particular case. This was a housing case, and the state Supreme Court took it on direct review. What that means is basically, normally the trial court has it, and if you believe as a trial attorney that they got it wrong, then you normally would petition to the Court of Appeals. That's the next step. But I knew that this was such a substantial public impact type case that I wanted to petition directly to our Supreme Court. So I did that 2 years at a law school. Not only did the state Supreme Court accept that case, I argued that case and we won a 9-0 opinion. And that case is a case that's taught to different foreclosing trustees to ensure what not to do in violating people's rights.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, there's something really special too, because when you talk about your personal history and the connection, someone, breaking into your home, I'm telling you, every guest, every time, it's so beautiful to me to see how people utilize their lived experience to fuel the decisions that they make in their life to get them to specific industries, whether that's job, whether that's in community, whatever it is. It's so beautiful to hear that because you experienced something and you were like, no, there's something I can do to educate myself and to learn so that doesn't happen again, right? Or so I know what to do. And so I really appreciate you sharing that personal story, but also too, what are some of those ways that you have utilized now, as a trial attorney, that you've utilized kind of your lived experience in construction, in real estate, to really bring all of that kind of to culminate it all into, the work you were doing as a trial attorney?
Yeah, so as a trial attorney, I practice in 3 types of areas currently: civil rights, personal injury, and real estate. And so with my background and my burning desire to ensure people's rights are not violated, I actually brought a class action suit against Department of Transportation with 2 other law firms, but I was lead counsel in this matter. And it was our law firm that made systemic changes on how the Department of Transportation would give you notices with respect to crossing the tolling. So a lot of individuals, they didn't necessarily get notice. And so they would go and try to get their license or their tabs, and they were prohibited from getting their tabs because they had this unpaid toll bill that ballooned all the way up to sometimes $1,500.
Crazy.
And so I knew, again, when something's not right, and if someone is not treating you correctly, you should be able to stand up, even against the powerful corporations, i.e. Department of Transportation. And that's exactly what we did.
Wow. I mean, well, you're definitely taking your personal experience and take on these like major cases. What was it that then made you say, out of all that I've done now as a trial attorney, I'm ready to throw my name in the ring to be a judge? Tell us about that transition and why you're running.
There's a lot of reasons why I'm running. One would be I really believe the judiciary needs to be reflective of its community. And right now, it is not. It's a beautiful thing when we have diversity of thought, because that's how we're able to move our county or our nation forward. If we just have the same old, how are we going to move forward? And if we don't have diversity of thought, how are other people going to know about my experiences and other people's experiences and or my clients' experiences?
Yeah.
When you see what you only see, you can't see at all. That's what I say. And so my goal and desire is to always educate people on how to see things from my perspective. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm running. And then the other reason is, believe it or not, in Snohomish County, there has never been a Black female judge in the history of Snohomish County. Put another way, since the inception of 1861. But I'm not even talking about there has never been a Black female judge. I'm talking about on any level. The municipal level, the district level, the superior level, and the Court of Appeals. So I think it's about time we get someone in there that has a different, fresh, new perspective.
Wow. Well, you're talking about, I mean, when you think about representation, as you said, and diversity of thought, it's so true. You can look up all of these statistics that show how diverse teams work better, right? The monotony of thought, like everyone thinking the same way or coming from the same experience, actually hurts productivity. There's just now so much data out there that really shows this. But to never have had a Black female judge at any level, that is major. And so that means all this time, any Black woman who was finding themselves in the court system in Snohomish County, there was no one at a judge level that reflected them at all. And so that's saying something major. And definitely there's a need to diversify. When you think about the things you want to do, if you were to win this seat, tell us about some of the things you're really looking to do as a judge.
As a judge, I really want to bridge that gap between the community and the judiciary, which is the bench, which is the court, which is me. You see, a lot of people come into court and they're not necessarily seen or heard. And this is from, again, lived experience. And so I wanted to ensure that anyone that comes into my courtroom, they're going to be heard and seen and respected. So what I want to do different than any other judge in Washington State at the Superior Court level is to ensure that I actually write my opinions, write my rulings. I want to demonstrate to the litigants that are in front of me, I hear you, I see you, and this is my legal analysis. And this is why I'm going to rule for you or I'm going to rule against you. Because that way it creates trust within the judiciary. And not just, hey, I'm going to rule this way because of X, Y, and Z. A lot of people don't know it's the trial attorneys who educate the judges on the different issues and facts in our case. It is the trial attorney who drafts the rulings that the judges sign. But I'm going to take it a step further. I'm actually going to do legal analysis to help educate the individuals to know why they won or lost. I think that's really important, but I'm not just going to stop there. I'm going to take it a step further. So I'm out in the community talking to all these different individuals, and they're like, hey, I would love to actually sit on a jury, but I can't because I can't afford to actually take time off of work, and my employer doesn't pay for me to sit on a jury. And so when you're a juror, you get all of $10 a day to come and actually sit. And so I'm hopeful that other judges will come together and say, you know what, let's make a policy change. Let's see if we can actually get the legislature to actually say, if you make less than $50,000 a year or something like that, instead of paying $10, why don't we pay $100 a day? And if you have children that's preventing you from being part of the jury, then let's offer daycare expenses for them as well. Because statistics have shown that if you have individuals that are reflected of the community, part of the jury, more likely than not, you're going to receive a fair hearing. And that's really important to me.
It really is. And, you know, it's I was watching something the other day and they were saying, you know, here's a jury of your peers. When you hear that, a jury of your peers, and there's no one there that even looks like you at all, that is of your same ethnic group or background, when you see a homogenous jury where it's like everyone is a white male or, you know, whatever, like I think about some of the cases from back in the day where it was never a jury of the peers. That and when someone explained it, they said, "Oh, we're just saying they're human beings." I'm like, that is not peers. That word peers means something, and hopefully somebody on the jury actually reflects my lived experience in some way. Like no ethnic background, no ethnic group is a monolith. But if there's no diversity at all, there's nothing that even looks like me, how can anyone who finds themselves in that situation feel as though that jury is their peers? So I appreciate that you are looking to actually take these steps further, as you say, to really ensure that you're bridging that gap between community and judiciary. I think it's important too, because oftentimes whatever circumstances lend you or lead you to be in front of a judge, there's already so much other stuff you're dealing with, right? And so you come in automatically thinking this person either is not going to understand me or I got to jump through hoops in order to get them to see my perspective. So there's a lot that needs to be done there. I'm actually glad that you were able to shed some light on this. As folks out there in Snohomish County are filling out their ballots, I want you to look right there, let them know how they stay connected and plugged in with your candidacy.
Thank you so much. Please go to electmaryanderson.com, and you can follow me on Facebook at Elect Mary Anderson as well. Please check me out. And if you see what you like, vote Mary Anderson for judge, the people's voice, because everyone deserves a good judge.
There we go. Mary, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for your dedication to this work.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Y'all, I told you it's a thorough Thursday. We got thorough with Miss Mary Anderson here. I'm going to wrap it all up right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Slicing out to right field. A diving catch. Candone lays out, and he makes the catch. Swinging a line shot. Diving catch. J.P. Crawford behind the bag at second. Then the ball game is over. A tremendous flying, diving, spectacular catch.
Looking for laughs? Looking for love? Fast Talking Figaro has got you covered. Toe-tapping melodies, lively staging, and colorful costumes. Don't miss The Barber of Seville, May 4th through 19th at McCaw Hall. Tickets at seattleopera.org.
Start the show.
Disenrollment is a situation whereby people whose birthright to be indigenous is being stolen from them by politicians that have been elected to lead.
Today, the latest or last chapter of the saga concerns the threatened physical ejectment of as many as 21 Nooksack families from their homes.
I think it come about by hatred for our family. That's what it's all about.
Our bloodline is still here. You know, they can't get rid of us.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. You know, it was really insightful today to hear from Mary Anderson, because I don't get to speak to many people who are doing a candidacy for the judiciary. And to be honest, the history that she would make as the first Black female judge in Snohomish County on any level says a lot. But it also is important for y'all to kind of pick up this inspiration. You know, she could have just stayed in construction. You know, she had a business. Construction's booming here in Washington State, but she kept on pushing further. And that, for me, is a story of resilience that we can all learn from. You know, when I talk about being inspired, I mean it, y'all. I'm sitting here listening to my guests every single weekday at 11 a.m., you know, and I am so inspired. I'm filled with it because everyone has that thing for them that we can all learn from. So find that thing for you. If you don't already have it, you could be out there doing some phenomenal stuff. But if you don't, if you're like, man, I'm just feeling unfulfilled, I think I should do more. Trust me, I have been exactly where you are. That's why I'm always encouraging you all to be inspired, because one day you will be part of the solution when you choose to do something about it. For me, y'all, until tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.